Hey y'all, welcome to another video. In this video, I'll show you how you can improve the real estate of your viewer screen by not using the camera control on screen HUD. To me, it is like a HUD. HUD is a heads-up display which attaches to your screen in Second Life. There are a number of HUDs available that do different things depending on the executable operation of the HUD. Example, a mesh head and a mesh body will have their own individual HUD, which you may want to keep up on your screen. Unlike the camera on screen control HUD, you actually do not need to have on your screen due to using the camera control keyboard shortcuts being much more efficient, time saving, and doesn't take up valuable real estate space on your screen. First, let's go over how camera controls are explained in this webpage by Jeremy Linden. I will have this linked in the description below if you are interested in reading it or looking over it yourself to use as a reference. Keyboard controls. By using your keyboard and mouse to control the camera, you can view nearly any object or avatar from any angle or distance. Now, these are the basic keyboard controls regarding the camera. We will get to the advanced shortcuts for the camera in a minute or two. The Alt left mouse button, you press and hold to zoom your view in when you move the mouse up or down. It orbits your view around the focal point when you move the mouse left or right. Next, there is the Control, Alt, and left mouse button. You press and hold to orbit your view around the focal point when you move your mouse in any direction. Next, we have the Control, Alt, Shift, and left mouse button. You press and hold to pan your view parallel to the plane of your screen. The mouse scroll wheel, it zooms in or out. That's pretty self-explanatory. The Escape key resets your view to its default location behind your avatar. Moving your avatar also resets your view. Now, to help us along in this video, we have a little tool here. As you can see, there is a little keyboard on the screen. And so whatever keys I press, they will be highlighted on that little black and green keyboard. Now, it's not the best, but it's going to get the job done. And that's what we do on this channel. We get the job done. So we're going to go back to these keyboard controls, and I'm going to give an example of each one of these. Just pay attention to the little keyboard on the left side of your screen. First, we're going to start with the Alt left mouse button. Alt left mouse button, and this is what it does. You can, when you move the mouse, if you pull the mouse back, you zoom out. When you push it forward, go in. If you do a little circle, it goes around like that. That is what the Alt and the left mouse button does. Next, we have the Control, Alt, and left mouse button. Press and hold to orbit your view around the focal point when you move the mouse in any direction. So we're going to use me again as the focal point. So here I am. And as you can see, I do have the Control, Alt pressed down, and I have my left mouse button clicked, and I could just do all of this. We're going to look at this fireplace over here. So Control, Alt, left mouse button, and then we let go, and then you can use the scroll key to scroll in to the fireplace, or you can use the scroll to go back, and you hit the escape key, and it'll go back to the original position of your avatar. This is how I have mine set. Obviously, you can change the setting, but this is what happens. It just goes back to your avatar. Next, we have Control, Alt, Shift, and left mouse button. you press and hold to pan your view parallel to the plane of your screen. We're going to do Control-Alt-Shift, and it just goes, you just move your mouse left and right. I'm holding down the left mouse button, horizontal view. So that is the Control, Shift, and Alt. You would have to use 3 fingers to press those 3 buttons. Next, we have the mouse scroll wheel. If you've been on the internet for any amount of time, you know what the mouse scroll wheel does. There you go. I'm doing it right now. Woo! And we've already went over the escape key. It resets your view to its default location behind your avatar. Onward, the on-screen controls. Now, I'm not going to go over this at all because, 1, it would defeat the purpose of this video. 2, I've never used it. When I see other people using it on other SL YouTube videos, it doesn't inspire me to have belief in the quality or the confidence of what they're showing in their video. There's mouse look. Mouse look, it sets the camera to a first person perspective. Very easy. You can enter mouse look by pressing the M key or by using the mouse scroll wheel to zoom all the way into your avatar. And that puts you into mouse look. Woo! Woo! And if you want to get out of this mouse look, all you have to do is just scroll out. Ta-da! Next, we have the avatar mouse steering. You can orbit your view around your avatar by clicking anywhere on your avatar and holding the left mouse button. And that's what that does with the left mouse button only when you click on your avatar and move your mouse around. Next, we have the advanced camera controls, which I use. I've always used them. People my age will use it too. We're old. We've been in SL a long time. We know these things. So I want to expand the knowledge to those that haven't been in SL for quite as long, or perhaps are just not aware that there's these wonderful advanced camera controls. In order to set up the advanced camera controls, you will need to go into Preferences, and you will need to go to the Move and View tab. Once there, you will find the first box to check, which is the Disable Camera Constraints. It gives you a brief explanation as to what it does. It sets this to move your camera beyond its normal bounds and below land level. The next box you want to check is Disable Minimum Camera Zoom Distance. What this does, it disables the constraint on the closest distance the camera is allowed to get to an object. The next box you want to check is to allow the camera to move without constraints through prims. It ignores the push the simulator applies to your camera to keep it out of objects, so this will allow you to look through prims. Once you check this box, you will have to restart your viewer. Now, the other boxes that I personally have checked, I have the turn avatar towards the camera direction on reset view. So when I hit the escape key, that is why the camera looks at the front of my avatar instead of behind it, which is the default. I also have reset camera position after a teleport within a region. And I also have checked reset camera position on avatar movement. It depends on your individual likings if you want those checked, but for the advanced camera controls to work, you absolutely do need the disabled camera constraints box checked, and you also need the disabled minimum camera zoom distance checked. This is optional, but it adds to my ease of looking around. In Second Life, the allow the camera to move without constraints through prims. If you're a builder, yeah, you need this in your life.
know you should check out what we testify. Moving tunes and intelligent vibes, it's a digital station. But there's one thing you gotta do, show some appreciation. Come on, baby. Hit the like button, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, don't hit that close up, support the reality of Second Life channel, join the realest family all the way.
Now, having those set, what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of camera experimentation. So as you can see on the keyboard display, what keys I'm using. And while I have the Control and Alt key pressed down, I do have the left mouse button pressed down, and I'm just moving my mouse around. Now, let's say I want to look outside. Okay. So I continue to have the Control Alt down, and I just kind of point and move my mouse to get outside. And woohoo, we are outside. Oh, just move the mouse around, and you can see all the things. Oh, wow, there's a billboard across the street. That is my billboard on my piece of land that's across the street. I want to look at my billboard. Let's look at it. And all I do, while the Control Alt keys are still pressed down, I just use the scroll button to scroll to up close. I mean, you can, I don't have my draw set real high, but that's what you can do. Now, I want to look at my avatar again. So I just hit the escape, and that's what happens. Now, I want to see if there's any food in my refrigerator in the kitchen downstairs. So we're going to Control and Alt and left mouse button, and we're going to go down to the kitchen. Here we are. There's my refrigerator. Now, obviously, I can just click on the doors and open to see what's in my refrigerator. However, I want to look inside without opening the doors. And that's what we're going to do. Control Alt, and then just scroll, and then just move your camera around. And oh, looks like Wilson left some leftovers of food in the refrigerator. Oh, yep, mayonnaise and ketchup, eggs. I'm so glad that he's finally learned to put the eggs in the refrigerator. Being British, it's not really a thing that British people do. You go to the store and the eggs are not in the refrigerated section. No, they are not. So that's good that Wilson is learning. And I've got some milk. I think that's jam. I'm not really sure, but it's Wilson's. He told me not to touch it, so I'm not really sure what it is. I hope it's jam. I hope it's not anything gross. Hey, I've had enough of looking inside my refrigerator. I just want to scroll out. I just scroll out. There you have it. The easy explanation of how to use keyboard shortcuts to control the camera in Second Life. If you are a user of the on-screen camera control HUD, leave a comment below sharing as to why you do. I'm curious to know. Maybe there is something about it of which I am unaware. I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.